Big news hitting the Cowboys world today, and it has fans buzzing because Xavier Clowney, yes, the veteran edge rusher, is making his way to Dallas for a visit. Now, let's be clear, this is a visit and not a full-blown workout, but the distinction doesn't matter too much at this point. The fact that the Cowboys are bringing him in at all signals that they are actively exploring ways to improve their defense. We are now in mid-September, and with the regular season underway, adding a player like Clowney could be a calculated move to give the team an edge, both in stopping the run and in generating consistent pressure on the quarterback. Clowney has always been the type of player who can offer more than just a situational presence. Over the years, he has demonstrated he can line up as a 3-0 defensive end, which means he is not limited to just passing situations. That versatility is critical because the Cowboys are looking at options to enhance a defensive front that has shown flashes but also clear gaps. Clowney's track record includes solid run defense, which is something that teams at the top of the league prize, especially in the NFC East, where power running teams can test the defensive line week after week. While his sack numbers might not always jump off the page, his ability to disrupt the offense, collapse the pocket, and force quarterbacks in a hurry decisions has been a hallmark of his career. Let's talk numbers for a moment. Last season, he recorded 9 tackles for loss, which speaks volumes about his presence against the run. While it's unlikely he ever hits double-digit sacks consistently again at this stage in his career, even generating around 6 sacks would be a meaningful contribution. Clowney is 32 years old, so we're not talking about a player in his prime physically, but what he brings is experience, understanding of the game, and a skill set that can complement the younger players on the roster. For a team like the Cowboys, who are developing several intriguing young edge rushers, bringing in a veteran presence could help them stabilize the rotation while giving those younger players a model to learn from. Now, it's not just about on-field performance. Clowney's tenure in the league has had its moments of controversy, but over the last few seasons, he has largely avoided the headlines and maintained a professional approach. Teams have sometimes questioned his attitude, especially in his final days with Cleveland, but since then, he has played for Baltimore and Carolina without major issues. That history does not make him a perfect player, but it does mean that the Cowboys will need to evaluate how he fits into the locker room culture. Given his experience, there is also potential for him to contribute as a leader, helping guide younger players who are stepping into bigger roles for the first time. Defensively, the Cowboys have shown a need for additional pressure, especially against the run. In their most recent game, while the team generated some pressure, the overall effectiveness in critical moments wasn't ideal. Adding Clowney could provide more consistency in that area. He is not going to be the flashy, record-breaking sack artist every week, but his ability to collapse the pocket and hold the edge is invaluable. He is more of a disruptor than a finisher, which in many defensive schemes is just as important as recording sacks. With the right rotation strategy, he could see a mix of snaps that keeps him fresh while allowing the young rushers to develop. This bullpen approach on the edge has been used by successful teams before, allowing multiple players to contribute without any single player being overextended. Financially, this move raises questions as well. Clowney is always aware of his value, and while the Cowboys have historically excelled at securing veteran minimum deals, the structure of the contract will need careful consideration. Is a 1-year deal with a moderate salary enough to attract him? Would the Cowboys go beyond that threshold? These are the kinds of questions that will need answers before any deal is finalized. However, the fact that the team is even in discussions speaks volumes about their mindset. They are not content to sit back and rely solely on the development of young players. They're actively looking for ways to strengthen the roster. Looking at the current defensive end room, there are a few pieces worth noting. Dante Fowler Jr., for example, has shown that he is more effective in certain situations, particularly as a rotational pass rusher. He isn't as reliable against the run, which leaves a gap in the defensive scheme that Clowney could help fill. Marson Lattimore has had moments of solid play, but similarly, his impact is somewhat situational. Clowney entering the mix could stabilize the rotation, giving the Cowboys a dependable edge rusher who can step in across multiple downs. For younger players, having a seasoned professional like him on the roster could also accelerate their learning and development. One of the interesting aspects of this potential addition is how it contrasts with the Cowboys' usual approach. Historically, Dallas has leaned on developing their young talent and often hesitated to bring in high-profile veterans. Mid-season, this move signals a shift in philosophy, one where the team recognizes that supplementing young players with experienced professionals can create a stronger, more balanced defensive unit. Trading away Micah Parsons left a gap, and now the front office appears committed to addressing that hole, not just hoping the current roster will evolve quickly enough on its own. Clowney's impact is not measured purely in sacks or statistics. His presence influences offensive game planning. Opposing teams have to account for his ability to disrupt plays, which can open opportunities for other defenders to make plays. He has the size, athleticism, and experience to be an influential piece even without being a perennial Pro Bowler. And while he may not be the most elite edge rusher in the league at this point, he is certainly capable of contributing meaningfully in both run defense and pass rush situations. The Cowboys, bringing him and also send a message to the fan base and the league. It demonstrates that the team is proactive and willing to explore all avenues to improve. It's not just about filling a roster spot. It's about strengthening a position of need, mentoring young players, and potentially changing the dynamic of the defensive line. Even if the deal doesn't ultimately materialize, the fact that the organization is actively pursuing high-caliber talent shows a level of commitment to competitiveness that fans rarely see this early in the season. As we watch this unfold, it will be fascinating to see how the Cowboys manage their defensive rotation with Clowney in the mix. Will he take the majority of snaps, or will he be part of a more strategic rotation to maximize his effectiveness? Could his presence also influence decisions on younger players like James Houston or Sam Williams? There's a lot to consider, but the bottom line is that Dallas is clearly thinking critically about how to get better on the edge, and Clowney is a significant piece in that puzzle. Now, diving deeper into what Clowney brings to the Cowboys, it's important to understand the nuance of his game. He is not your traditional high-sack superstar who racks up double-digit numbers every year, but he is a disruptive force. His ability to control the edge in both passing and running situations is something that can completely alter the dynamics of a game. Offensive lines have to account for him on every snap, even if he doesn't end the play with a sack. The pressure he generates can force hurried throws, disrupt timing, and create opportunities for linebackers and secondary players to make plays. That kind of impact is subtle but incredibly valuable, particularly for a team like Dallas, which has been trying to consistently generate pressure without over-relying on any single player. In terms of fit, Clowney aligns well with what the Cowboys need. He is a 3-0 player, which means he could be on the field in early downs, to set the edge against the run, and stay on in passing downs to contribute as a pass rusher. That flexibility is critical, because the team has struggled at times with consistency from edge to edge. Dante Fowler Jr. has flashed as a situational pass rusher, but his run defense is less reliable. Marshon Lattimore shows promise, but is more of a situational edge setter than a disruptive force. Clowney fills those gaps, offering a combination of experience, physicality, and football IQ that the current roster can't fully provide on its own. One of the reasons Clowney's presence is particularly important now is the defensive context the Cowboys find themselves in. Last game against a high-powered Philadelphia offense, there were moments when pressure was applied, but the timing and effectiveness were inconsistent. That inconsistency is costly in the NFL, especially in the NFC East, where games are often decided by a single big defensive play. Clowney may not solve every problem, but adding him to the rotation increases the probability that those critical moments swing in favor of Dallas. Even if he only plays a subset of snaps, his influence can change how opposing quarterbacks approach the pocket and how running backs choose their lanes. Financial considerations will obviously play a role, but history suggests that the Cowboys are adept at negotiating veteran minimum deals around this time of year. The key will be whether Clowney is willing to accept a one-year arrangement. That balances his value with the team's cap realities. A deal like that is not unusual, and it can benefit both parties. The Cowboys get a proven player without committing long-term. Clowney gets an opportunity to showcase his skills and possibly leverage another deal next year. The negotiation will be interesting to watch, but the fact that the visit is happening indicates serious intent from both sides. Clowney's locker room impact is also worth noting. He brings experience that can help young players accelerate their development. Edge rushers coming into the league often face a steep learning curve, and having a veteran like Clowney to mentor them can be invaluable. He has been through multiple defensive schemes, seen countless offensive systems, and understands how to prepare week after week at a high level. His influence on players like Sam Williams or even James Houston could extend beyond the field, teaching preparation habits, situational awareness, and professional approach to game day that only someone with Clowney's experience can provide. Another aspect to consider is the psychology of the opposing offense. When teams know Clowney is on the field, they have to make adjustments. Double teams, chip blocks, and slide protections all become more likely, which can free up other defenders to make plays. That domino effect is part of the subtle impact he brings. You don't see in box scores, but it manifests in reduced rushing lanes, hurried throws, and overall disruption in offensive rhythm. In a league where every inch matters, those kinds of contributions are critical. It's also worth reflecting on the trajectory of Clowney's career. He was a #1 overall pick with sky-high expectations, and while he hasn't always reached the superstar status some projected, he has had a long and productive career. He has adapted to multiple teams and schemes, played alongside younger and older players, and remained relevant in the league longer than many would have predicted. That longevity is a testament to his work ethic, athleticism, and football intelligence. For the Cowboys, it means they're getting someone who can step in immediately and make a tangible impact without needing a long adjustment period. Strategically, Adding Clowney fits the philosophy of a team looking to maximize its competitive window. Dallas has intriguing young pieces, but relying solely on potential can be risky, especially when competing in a division where every game is a battle. Bringing in a player with Clowney's versatility and experience hedges against that risk. It's about balance, pairing youth and upside with reliability and proven skill. And in a league where injuries are inevitable, having a veteran ready to step in without a drop-off is crucial. Looking at matchups, Clowney's skill set is particularly well suited for certain opponents in the upcoming schedule. Against power-running teams, he can set the edge and force ball carriers back inside to teammates waiting in the tackle box. Against pass-heavy teams, his ability to collapse the pocket and pressure the quarterback without relying on high sack totals can still change the course of drive. He may not finish every play with a highlight reel sack, but his influence is felt in subtle, consistent ways that improve the entire defensive unit. Beyond individual performance, Clowney's visit sends a larger message about the Cowboys' approach this season. It shows a willingness to break from historical patterns of over-reliance on youth and take active steps to upgrade weak points. It signals a proactive mindset, an organization not content to sit back and hope talent develops in isolation. Instead, Dallas is exploring all avenues to create a stronger, more competitive team immediately. That type of organizational mindset is as important as any single player acquisition because it demonstrates seriousness about contending, building credibility both within the team and externally across the league. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be the most electrifying move of the offseason, the Dallas Cowboys have reportedly secured a deal with wide receiver Xavier Worthy, sending shockwaves through the NFL. Sources close to the team suggest that the contract spans 4 seasons, setting the stage for a high-octane offensive unit that could redefine what it means to be fast in professional football. While the Cowboys have long been known for their explosive plays and ambitious draft strategies, adding Worthy to the mix might just tip the scales in the league's speed department. Worthy a standout with a reputation for blazing downfield sprints and creating separation almost at will, fits seamlessly into what insiders describe as the fastest offense the NFL has ever seen. Analysts are already speculating that this pairing could elevate the Cowboys' aerial game to unprecedented levels. The team's quarterback, who has shown consistent improvement in reading defenses and delivering precise throws, now has a target capable of turning short passes into instant touchdowns. Imagine a field where defenders are constantly on their heels, chasing a receiver who seems almost untouchable. This could be the reality for Dallas in the coming seasons. The deal itself, rumored to stretch over 4 years, signals the franchise's commitment to building a high-impact squad, prioritizing explosive talent over incremental gains. Conversations in locker rooms and sports bars alike are buzzing with speculation. Could Worthy's addition make Dallas a perennial contender? Could this be the start of a new era where the Cowboys' offense becomes a league-wide benchmark for speed and efficiency? Fans are already drafting highlight reels in their minds, picturing long bombs and end-zone celebrations that feel almost inevitable. While nothing is officially confirmed, insiders suggest that the Cowboys' front office has been quietly orchestrating a transformation, aiming to create a unit that's not just competitive, but terrifyingly fast. If the rumors hold true, the NFL might soon witness a team that isn't just good, it's nearly untouchable. For now, all eyes remain on Dallas, as speculation alone has fans and pundits alike debating what could be the fastest, most dynamic offense the league has ever seen. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions.